Hey guys, it's Main here, backing up with another video. Today we have another person we're doing an IE review for. Obviously you're watching this video, my whole content is based around IE reviews, so you get it by this point. Anyways, we're doing this live on stream, having the wonderful popcorn gallery that we have of Twitch chat. But yeah, we're just gonna head straight into it. Today we have Scndwind. I don't know what your Twitch name is, I don't know if you're in chat, but definitely a World 6 player. Death Note looking like at Mama Trolls. Big thing for you to try to really get to. You can kind of stop your progression in World 6 when you get to League Spirits. League Spirits, very, very important because you unlock the quest line for summoning, where you get a lot of those stamps from Scndwind. Scndwind is a big... You want to get to that quest line as soon as possible, so you can start working on trying to get those stamps unlocked. Otherwise, you're going to be locked out of it if you finish summoning beforehand. So I wouldn't recommend finishing summoning yet. I recommend trying to get the League Spirits, unlocking the quest for Scndwind, and doing summoning on the character you have the quest on, because if you don't have the quest active, you can't progress it, so you may lock yourself out of the stamp. People have done it before. Once you finish summoning, you can't unlock those stamps. So things like Summoner Stone Stamp, Triad Essence Stamp, and the Void Axe Stamp, I believe, are all Scndwind related. So you need the quest line first, then you can stop. That's why I recommend pushing 2 League Spirits, stopping, and then worrying about skilling progression, as I do in most of the previous IE reviews. So we'll talk about that in just a second, but let's see how we can kind of get your damage up a little bit, get you to League Spirits, and then you can start worrying about skilling. So first big thing, obviously, stamps is a great way to go through. You have a lot of these at red, so that means you're doing a good job at actually upgrading your stamps. A level 8,000 stamp level is really, really good. I'd like to see that. Something I do want to note is that this was last updated about a week or so ago, a week and a half or so ago. Today's October 5, the day I'm doing this review. So last week is when you last updated this. So you may have progressed this a little bit further. You may or may not have gotten a character already to League Spirits, maybe. But that's definitely something you need to work on, is trying to get to League Spirits, doing that quest line, doing summoning, progressing that. But you may be lacking in the damage department, so let's talk about some ways to increase it. Stamps, obviously, like I mentioned, but Alchemy is going to be a big one. I actually do recommend upgrading Big Meaty Claws, Quick Slap, and Name I Guess up to 300. In one of the more recent, I'd say, updates, Lava did make it so it scales diminishingly past level 300. So if you're able to upgrade this through resource cost, I would recommend doing that. I think your skilling efficiency might be a little low, or you may not have the monster materials to upgrade it, but these are great ways to increase your base damage. I'd really recommend trying to do Name I Guess over anything else, because it should be easier for you to push World 6 with Bubo, depending what your talents are. And I see you have over 200 talent levels on some things, so you have the level 200 Tentacle, so it should be easier for you to push the portal on Bubo, primarily due to Tentacle being at 300. You should be able to really push it a lot higher. So you should be able to respawn the mobs a lot faster thanks to Tentacle being a higher level, and you should be able to push not the lock, but like the kill requirement of the Mama Trolls map being active on Bubo and getting into League Spirits, so you can get that quest line unlocked. Once you get to League Spirits on at least one character, you can do the summoning quest on that character and then start worrying about skilling progressions, which you really should be focusing your attention on. So get damage, upgrade your talents that specify in damage, things like Gilded Sword, the Untwisted Robes, Power Overwhelming, Knowledge is Power, and some of your active talents like Auspicious Aura, for example. Try to get those up. Try to push your damage. Again, League Spirits is a really big thing for you to try to get to. You should really focus on trying to upgrade your equipment. You have Stingers, that's good. It's perfect for pushing Bubo. You have Golden Kebabs. You have that. Statues, you have some Onyx statues, so you have the move speed there. You should have crits, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you have crit chance, so getting to 100% crit chance, or sorry, 200% crit chance should be relatively easy for you to do. So if you're not hitting a mega crit, what's going on here? Oh my god, you struggling for defense or something on your characters? Okay. So if you're pushing on your character, I wouldn't recommend doing the Midas Mind or Jawbreaker. I do recommend. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Yeah. This is okay. We got a few things to talk about. So first and foremost, I recommend pushing portals on your Bubo. First of all, you have level 200 Tentacle. I think it's easy for you to do that. when you're pushing, just take off minus mine and Jawbreaker. It's gonna take a lot of time for your character to really push it. So I do not recommend putting it on there. You're gonna have a lot easier time pushing the Mama Troll's portal with Bubo. If you do not have Doot, obviously do recommend linking to Nobisect. Linking to Nobisect is going to give you 2 times kills. Also in lab, make sure you have it activated for Killer Brightside. Also gives you 2x kills. Nobisect plus Killer Brightside is going to give you a ton of kills, make it a lot easier to push the portal. Secondly, something I see some of your characters doing is... Okay. So I want to talk about this. Fiber of Absence, I can guarantee you, you are not getting as much Gmush kills as you think, because Fiber of Absence, it says minus 63% damage, and a lot of the reductions you see in prayers are additive. So if you have 2x class EXP, example for Royal Sampler, it's 2 minus 0.78, which gives you 1.22, I think, total class EXP. But the way Fiber of Absence works, it's not the same way. If you have, say, 200% total damage, normally you would think this minus 0.63 and you have like 137% total damage. That's not how this works. It actually reduces it by over 60%. So that 200% damage that the bonus that you have, it's actually reducing that by 63%. So you actually have less than 100%. This is a huge damage reduction, and I do not recommend someone in your state to be using Fiber of Absence, because you're just reducing the multi-kill tiers that you actually get. If I were to equip Fiber of Absence, you see this 1.6 QQ damage right here is going to go down to 249 Q damage. It is a huge damage reduction. You're going to be reducing your total kills per hour on Gmush, which means that you're not going to be pushing, you're not going to be getting Death Note kills as much. Fiber of Absence is something you see late gamers use, because Gmush caps at 52 multi-kill tiers on Gmush specifically. So if you have way more than enough damage to get past the 52 Q damage, the 52 multi-kill tiers on Gmush, then you can equip Fiber of Absence and see if you don't drop multi-kill. But I guarantee you, for someone at your stage in the game, you are dropping multi-kill. 51 kills is the cap. Either way, if you're at the 51, 52 kill tier, I guarantee you, for someone at this stage in the game, you're level 350, you haven't even finished World 6, you don't even have Eclipse Skulls on a lot of your characters, on a lot of the worlds and your monsters. I guarantee you Fiber of Absence is hindering your account progress, or rather Gmush kills. Take this off your characters, you're going to see you get a lot more kills. Okay, we're going to talk about stamps. Alchemy, let's talk about this a little bit more. So in addition to Quick Slap, Big Meaty Claws, and Name I Guess, obviously the multiplier bubbles here, Mage's Best, Archer Bust, Warrior's Rule. The stat bubbles here, Roid Ragin, Swift Step-In, and Stable Genius are going to help you with damage as well, in addition to the Severe Purple, Primer Green, and Molt Orange. So if you have the resources, I recommend upgrading those bubbles. Those are going to help with your damage. I do also want to mention Sailing also has some damage bonuses you may or may not be able to get. You have Crystal Stake at Ancient. You are getting Eldritch artifacts right now. I'd probably get Fury Relic at Eldritch first, then worry about trying to do Crystal Stake or Trilobite Rock. Peg, remind me in a little bit. I'll do that for you. Yeah, Crystal Stake is a huge damage bonus, so you upgrading your stats is going to help you with damage as a result of this. In addition, the Alchemy Bubble, Power of Try 1, Try 2, and Try 3 are going to be great. This is going to come from Sailing, so if you have the resources in Sailing to upgrade this, that's going to be one way you can increase your damage. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit difficult because getting to the Note Island is just relatively hard. Also, this is one of the rare resources, so you're not going to be able to reliably do this. It's mostly going to come through, I believe, Lithium, and upgrading this with no bubble left behind. It's going to take you a little bit of time. Something else in Alchemy I want you to focus on a little bit is going to be Larry. If you have the scaling efficiency necessary to upgrade this with resources instead of atoms, I'd recommend doing that. I think your atom generation is probably a lot lower, so you're not going to be able to sustain doing atom clicks on this, but you should be focusing on your atom clicks on some of the earlier bubbles, the multiplier bubbles I mentioned earlier, as opposed to some of the more expensive ones. But once your atom generation gets pumped up, once you're at League Spirits and you do that grind I mentioned just about every other video for someone in similar stages to you, Larry's going to be something you want to focus on, because getting this to level 500 to 530 or so, 501 or 530, I think, is going to guarantee you +2 levels whenever you upgrade a bubble in Alchemy, which applies to the Atom clicks. Every level after that gives you a small percent chance to get 3 levels as opposed to 2. So Larry is definitely a goated bubble. And then, obviously focusing on the Mage's Best, Archer Best, Warrior's Rule, Severe Purple, Permagain, Bolt Orange, the Stat Bubbles, Hocus Chopus, the Brain Tools, all the other scaling efficiency ones is where you want to cycle your focus back into. So talking about this, your big focus once you get to League Spirits is going to be the Boron Atom Collider grind I mentioned. Like I said in the other videos, I do have a whole video dedicated to Boron, why it's so good, the League Spirit lock, why you should be focusing on this, and how it helps your account. Go watch that video for reference if you need. But Boron is a huge boon for your account. Getting higher atom generation is how you boost out Boron. And generally, if you want to consider doing hourly clicks on your characters or doing like 3 hourly clicks, coming back to it, doing whatever, it's going to help your account progress as well. But hourly clicks are not mandatory. You can strictly focus on just doing atom clicks. That's completely fine. Okay, vials. For now, because you need damage, I recommend trying to get extra levels in Tail Time and Krakenade. Krakenade is going to come through 3D Printer as opposed to doing it actively, obviously. But Tail Time, you can go back on ES and try to grind this out to get more weapon power. The damage bonus here is going to be relatively minimal, but I mean, it's more damage. It's another source if you want to focus on it. Eventually, getting it to level 13 is your goal. So, work on it if you can. Rift, you have Skill Mastery, that's good. You have Vial Mastery, that's good. Yeah, I mean, the skilling vials, going back to vials, I mean, getting the skilling vials up is going to be something you can do. So you have Jungle Logs at 13. The Void Ore, obviously, I think is going to be big for you. Chopping efficiency through the Tundra Logs. Yeah, skilling bubbles up to 13 are going to help you a little bit, is what I recommend. As always, skilling prints are going to come first. Then if you do V-Man speedrun, you can do the monster materials. You can active ES for these materials as well. But getting Skinny Zero Cal to 13 is going to be the next big grind after the Atom Collider thing I mentioned. Outside of scaling efficiency, I believe you started the Onyx grind, which makes me think you have Choco Chip. You do have Choco Chip. So you are able to Onyx statues. So getting on the level 13 Vial grind is going to be something you want to do relatively soon. So you can get Skinny Zero Cal up to 100%. Once it's at 100%, I believe it's around 23, 26 files, something like that. Someone can correct me in chat. But getting Skinny Zero Cal is going to make it so when you deposit the Kachow statues, it's going to be a lot easier. Before you deposit Kachow statues, you want to make sure that you have Skinny Zero Cal at 100%. You want to make sure your bubble here for Starchu XP is at 26, 27. You want to make sure Starchu XP, the percentage there you see is about 23%, 24%. The Onyx statues at every statue at Onyx, and then you can deposit Kachow statues for just the most amount of crit damage that you can get on your account. Yeah. Okay. Gear-wise, your characters are looking relatively good. I see Void, you see some Luster. Overall, gear is looking okay. You have some Void. I think your next big breakpoint is going to be trying to get into Troll Armor. Troll Armor is going to be very important. It's obviously going to be a little bit of a grind because it does take Null Assaults, it takes Gold Twine, so the resources are a little bit farmy, but getting the all-stat percent that you get from Troll Armor is really, really good. It gives you damage, it gives you money percent. Obviously, it's going to be higher defense, so you don't have to worry about the chips that you have on your Bubo right now. It's just generally going to help you a ton in trying to get damage, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, and cooking. Okay, I mean, decently okay. Not terrible. Just remember when you get 2 League Spirits, I think you unlock this the ability to get this meal, to do this Territory Spice Battle when you get to League Spirits. This meal cooking speed, just go back once you get it to level 11, level 30 even, to get the extra cooking speed it provides. Just make sure to use some ladles in some of the earlier meals, get them up to speed, and start juicing out your cooking as a result of unlocking that meal. Okay, so for salts, Yeah, you're doing the good thing. You want the green salts and red salts always on 0% auto refine. You always want to try to upgrade red and green salts as much as you can. The higher level, it's going to result in more DK damage. It's going to result in making the orange and purple salts a lot easier to produce. You never want to auto refine red or green. Okay, whenever you can, I would recommend trying to upgrade these. You can save yourself the pain of trying to upgrade the multi-kill rate, because it's like base multi-kill. It's not necessarily huge for your account, and you need the null salts at this point, so you can hold off on trying to upgrade the purple salt one, but getting the points earned during tower defense is going to help, because obviously you need worship, you need more souls, you need higher levels, and also helps with Equinox, so trying to get the extra points is only other way to get that bonus is going to be through cannoli and cooking. So maxing that out in Salt Lake is going to help a ton with your account. Also, you'll be able to eventually get things like Zerg Rush again, so you get higher 3D prints, which is going to cycle back into the Leak Spirit grind, doing skilling efficiency and trying to get higher 3D prints. So speaking about cooking, breeding is something you want to focus on, because obviously if you're not able to fight the territory spice battle, you're not able to unlock the meal to push the cooking speed. So upgrading and focusing on breeding is something you want to do. I would highly recommend trying to upgrade Blooming Axe more, so you have the fight contribution on your foraging pets to be able to unlock that spice and actually use it in a timely manner. The territory spice battle, what I recommend, make sure when you have Forager in the space above where you have Burger, not necessarily the space above, but the spice battle above, you have Forager like you do here. If you're struggling to unlock the spice here for Lullaby Airways, eventually when you get there, make sure to put a SAR in the battle above. It'll make the fight power in the battle below a lot easier to get. So if I go over to World 4, for example, you want something like this. I'm pretty sure someone's going to yell at me for this not being efficient, but you see the SAR here. If I take this off, the fight power really diminishes. It adds a little bit of fight power to the spice battle below, so you can start producing spice and collecting it just in case you need that. That's a little trick you can use. But the higher level of breeding that you get means the higher pet power that you get. So the more levels you get in breeding, the higher pet power you can get, which means you can get a higher burger, you can get a higher forager, just generally be able to get more foraging speed, so you can unlock that spice to use in cooking. You do a pet arena, good. Yeah, I mean, upgrades here, just Blooming Axe, Paint Bucket, Fence Extension, all that stuff's really, really good. Shiny Pet's not something you want to necessarily worry about right now. It's not bad to have stuff in here, but if you still have pets to unlock from World 3, World 4, do some breedability. Makes the next pet a little bit easier to unlock, just if you're struggling for unlocking some of the later game pets. Okay, Divinity. Blessings aren't bad. Not doing terrible. You just don't have atoms to upgrade some of this stuff. So make sure your characters are doing Divinity. You have level 50, which means you should have multi-tool. Is that correct? Yeah. So, I mean, you should try to unlock the last god, because it's going to give you sailing speed. Makes it a little bit easier to get the last islands. If I'm not mistaken, I think Bagger is atoms. So you're not going to be able to necessarily upgrade this a whole ton. But eventually, when you get enough atom generation, getting some sailing speed, this is going to be another avenue you can try to get that. Even if you don't have Dude, I would recommend trying to get one character linked to Permeep, because this minor link bonus only applies once. Unlocking Permeep is going to give you the boat sailing speed and gaming plant growth speed. Actually, didn't even check if you're linked to Permeep, and you do. Okay, you are linked. So you're going to get some more sailing speed. You're going to get more plant growth speed. Going to make gaming and sailing a little bit faster. Speaking of sailing, I didn't really touch on it a whole lot, but I don't see you have hamster gummies on your characters. I would definitely recommend trying to do that. Getting a stack of like 500, you have choco chips, so farming it's not necessarily going to be a huge problem for you, but definitely put hamster gummies on your characters. Get like a stack of 500, split them across your characters. Even 100 to start is probably reasonable. I mean, you have 1,000 here. It's not terrible. I would recommend trying to get a stack of like 100 to 500 across all of your characters, just to make it easier to collect sailing time, to make it easier to progress sailing and unlock your artifacts a little bit faster. I don't know what your beanstalk looks like, but you do have this. You aren't at the 100% chance, so make sure to put hamster gummies on your characters just to make the time, just to make it easier to collect sailing time. Do you remember the beanstalk does stack independently of your character? So you can have a 110k stack on your beanstalk, have a 110k stack on your character, and you have double the effective bonus of your gold food. So make sure to have stacks on your character and on the beanstalk. Sailing time does cap out at 100%, so you can't double claim sailing, for example. So once it's at 100%, it's ineffective to really do anything. So you can still get some extra gains here by putting hamster gummies on your characters to make sailing go by a little bit faster. Sneaking is just generally slow until you unlock sneaking mastery, get the there's an upgraded Jade Emporium that makes it a little bit easier. Charmed, I'm sure. Once you get to Lotus Flowers, you can double stack Lotus Flowers on your last 4 characters to make your sneaking on your other characters much more effective. The Smoke Bombs is something you can replace early, as opposed to Lotus Flowers if you don't have that floor unlocked yet, to make your sneaking go by a little bit faster. The Smoke Bombs essentially do Lotus Flowers just at a lower percent. This is essentially what you want to do just on 4 characters instead of 3. Double stacking Lotus Flowers is going to make the sneaking on your other characters much more effective, so you can unlock more items, you can break down the door, whatever you're trying to do in sneaking is what the Charmed, I'm sure, makes it more effective, or a lot easier to do. So once you get here, you're going to be really good. I think what you probably want to do, since you can't double stack things, is going to be you want a Veil on one character. You want a Veil and probably Smoke Bomb, and on one character you have Veil and the Scroll to help with sneaking kind of early. Oh my god. Hold on. That's crazy. 1.91, 1.94. It's sick. Cool. Anyways, yeah. I mean, but until you get here, it's really just Smoke Bomb, Veil early. Once you get to Rosary, doing Rosary and Veil, they have separate multipliers. They will multiply with each other. The sneaking, the stealth value you get from a Veil and Rosary multiply with each other, make it really, really high sneaking stealth that you get on your characters. So when you get to Rosary, put a Veil and a Rosary on your characters is essentially what I'm saying. Cool. Yeah, summoning, don't finish it, like I said, get to Sussy Gene, finish the quest line, then you can finish summoning. Okay, I would recommend doing a bean trade-in as soon as you can, because you're at Mama Trolls, go trade in your crops for these beans and unlock OG as soon as you can. Actually, you have one more crop to find one more crop and then do that, trade in your beans, and then unlock OG. It's just a 1-level thing. It unlocks OG. It makes it so you get more crops. It's really necessary for farming. It's how everything else scales. But once you get that, it's going to help a ton with your farming. What I'd recommend trying to do is getting more land plots. So upgrading this here is going to be really vital. And then going and doing the day market grind, trying to get more stronger vines, trying to get more nutritious soil is going to help a ton with progressing that. In the gem shop, what I really recommend is trying to buy, going to World 6 real quick, I would highly recommend trying to buy land plots. I'd highly recommend getting insta-grow generators. These not only make it so you insta-grow stuff, but also make it so you get the 20% chance for +1 crop. It's essentially stronger vines. You just add 20% to this, they will stack. So you can buy it up to 8 times. So 8 times 20 is 1.6. So you get 1.6 crops for free through the gem shop if you're able to purchase this. I would also recommend trying to buy Shroom Familiar if you don't already. These are useless. Pristine Charms is something you can buy at the end if you have extra gems. But definitely in priority, I'd recommend Insta-grow generators first. Land plots and Shroom Familiars, obviously outside of farming, is something you want to do as well. Yeah, just Insta-grow generators make it so much easier to collect crops because Stronger Vines is such a strong upgrade because it multiplies with the other bonuses you see here, like the product doubler, the land value you get from land ranks eventually when you unlock that. The land plots obviously is just effectively a multiplier for the amount of crops you can get, because the more plots you have, the more Stronger Vines it has effect, more nutritious soil, more product doubler, that kind of stuff. But in farming, the goal is really try to get to product doubler and then try to get to land rank. And trying to upgrade Stronger Vines, product doubler, nutritious soil is kind of the cycle you want to get into. Eventually, when you get enough crops to unlock speed GMO, trying to get 7% growth speed, trying to get crop EVA to 1.2, unlocking more crops, and just cycling back in to kind of flip-flopping between day market, night market is where you want to do when you're in World 6. Okay. Okay, and I did want to talk about one more thing, which is skill mastery. So you have 300. Good. Okay. I mean, you're doing good here. I would maybe try to get fishing up to 500 so you get the skill efficiency here. When you eventually get to leak spirits, the skill efficiency is going to be really important because you want to get into the skilling efficiency grind to get higher prints. Construct mastery. Yeah, just the more buildings you upgrade, the more bonuses you get here. It's going to help a ton with refinery speed, which is how you fix your refinery or really get it up to speed. You are at 1 minute 41 cycle time, which is really, really good for you where you are. So just make sure not to mess up your salts. Just, you know, make sure, I think Toolbox has a better display of this. If you see anything in red, it means you're running at a deficit for salts. If you go here real quick, go to refinery, you can make sure it's not getting cut off. You see in the, yeah, I mean, chat's kind of messing it up. But you see here in the rank up, for example, for my blue salts, I am not running out of salts, or sorry, the cycle right here. This isn't red or highlighted in orange. I'm printing 526, so the cycle only costs 348. So I'm at a surplus of orange salts here. This is what you want to see. If it's in red, you need to fix your refinery. Is my suggestion. So, I mean, there's not a whole lot else to talk about. You have some minor things to really fix. Again, the big thing here, take off Fiber of Absence. Your gear-wise is looking relatively good. Try to get into Troll Gear is the next big thing for your account. Gem Shop, I recommend getting Instagrow generators, buying all of them, going into Land Plots, Shroom Familiars, and then at the very end, the surplus gems that you have, obviously going to be Pristine Charms. I also recommend getting a stack of 500 golden hamsters across all of your characters, just to make it easier to collect sailing AFK time and trying to push some of the later islands as well. What else? Keep on the stamp grind. You're doing really good. I recommend trying to be active on Bubo, taking off the Midas Mind and Jawbreaker so you can push World 6. Again, getting to Leak Spirits, then finishing summoning with the quest line. Trying to get the stamps unlocked, upgrading those obviously is going to help progress summoning a lot faster. Once you progress summoning, obviously it's going to help you get more artifact find chance. It's going to help you with other aspects of your account, such as drop rate, AFK gains. Summoning just has huge bonuses account-wide. You don't want to finish it until you unlock the quest line for Sussy Jean. You don't want to lock yourself out of that. And then obviously, overall goal, trying to get 10,000 stamp levels, really, really important for your account. Alchemy-wise, you kind of want to be on the Vial grind, doing the skilling vials, trying to get things like Gross, the Void Vial, the Spanish Sahara, all these up to 13. On ES, trying to get tail time to 13. The Skinny Zero Cal up to 13. Really, really, really important. And for the bubbles specifically, Warrior's Rule, Archer Bust, Mage's Best is where you should be focusing your atoms. Once you get to Leak Spirits, focusing on skilling efficiency, so things like Hocus Chopus and the Brain Tools, really, really important. Obviously, Larry, trying to get this to 501 beyond is going to be really good for getting you extra bubble levels. Makes it a lot easier to upgrade the other bubbles and get them up to really high levels for you to get more skilling efficiency. Really, really important. Hopefully that's enough for you to work on. Anyways, thanks for watching. Great Scndwind. I'll see you guys in the next video, YouTube.